So I'm back over here at Matt Reisinger's house, and we're gonna finish once and for all the epoxy. Of course, last time we were here, we put these tarps up because it was gonna rain, and now we have a beautiful sunny day. So now we need to take them down so that we can get some light in there.
No rain today. It's looking beautiful.
Yeah. So there you go.
Temporary garage doors. Bye bye.
Alarm goes off at 4:45. Roll out of bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots, and then it's time to make that morning drive. Work all day till I'm totally beat. Get back home and fall right to sleep. Alarm goes on.
You took my knee back.
That's your left knee, and that's labeled right knee. That one's labeled left knee.
Oh, he's required to read?
There's a reading requirement on the job, yes sir.
Sorry.
They were, now stay awake for this. I heard you have a reputation for
Falling asleep
sleeping on the job. Eric told me the story about the one time you joked with him about sleeping, and at Floor and Decor, someone was like, oh, how do I know you? Oh, you're the guy who fell asleep on Eric's job.
And I was like, well, I'm Leroy from Texas Barndominiums. And he says, oh, you're the guy who got caught sleeping on the couch. I was like, well, I said it was a joke. But my family, a lot of my family seriously thinks I was asleep.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
do you still think I'd be working for him if he actually caught me asleep on the job? Come on.
This is where we're going to stop the epoxy. We're not going to do the outside because epoxy is not very good with UV rays. So we're going to stop it right there, and then whenever Matt does the driveway, then they can seal right up to here, and then everything is going to look just right.
Yep.
It's a really good place to stop it, by the way. You know.
The garage door will land right here.
Right.
And this is the water stop. For
Exactly.
The garage
So
door.
that way, whenever you do the outside, everything looks the same up to the door, and then from inside, the opposite. So
Eric, I'd like to point out though, this slab is a 70s slab. It looked terrible when I bought this house. There was some nasty dark staining here. There was actually quite a bit of mold growth on the sheetrock here in this garage in the previous house. Now I demoed the house down to the slab, but already the place is looking better. I can't wait to see what the epoxy is going to look like.
oh man, it's gonna look amazing, especially because we're gonna do the color chip epoxy.
Yep.
And that's to me, it looks amazing. So yeah, I mean, the slab alone already looks much better, after it's been cleaned up. All right, so we're using Crown Polymer 8355 epoxy, and of course this one is pigmented, as you can tell. This is going to be our base coat. We're going to put that down, and then we're going to put the chips on top of it. Whenever you're doing 100% chip coverage, color is not 100% required, but because it's not going to show through, that's the point. However, we do it anyway, just in case. Plus, it just looks better. Right, Leroy?
Yes, it does. It looks awesome.
All right, Leroy, let's do this. So the way we're going to put it down, we're actually going to use a notched squeegee. We're just going to pour it right onto the concrete. Then we're going to spread it with a squeegee, and then we're going to take a roller and just back roll it to make sure that we get an even coverage. The squeegee ensures that you get plenty on the concrete and you get even distribution. Dip and roll, because epoxy is 100% solids, it just doesn't flow very well. That's why you need the squeegee. We'll show you. All right, so the way you apply this is you literally pour it right onto the concrete like that. Then you take a notched squeegee. This one is a 1/16 tooth on it, and then you spread the epoxy with it. The squeegee is going to make sure that you don't leave too much behind. And then after you spread it, then you have somebody come back behind you and cross roll it, just like Leroy's doing right now. That's what it takes. It's actually quite fun. Right, Leroy?
Yeah, I'm having a hell of a time.
This is how far we made it with epoxy. Now this is time to put down the chips. Now on the chips, there's multiple different ways that you can do this. The way that we're gonna do this, which I like the best, is 100% coverage to refusal. That means we're just gonna throw chips on there until it can't take no more.
Oh my.
Now,
chips.
the key thing to remember or be careful is that you don't put chips right on the very edge, because then when we continue with the epoxy, then we're gonna layer it and then it's gonna get a buildup that we don't want. So we want to throw chips out there, not here. So
Got it.
be careful with that. If you do, for whatever reason, get too far ahead of yourself, you can get some spike shoes. You can put them on and you can actually walk in the epoxy and do the chips. So multiple different ways to do this. This is how we do it.
All right, Eric, you ready?
I'm ready.
Chip time, guys. So anything special about the chips we need to know, Eric?
Nope. Just
That's it.
that's it.
It's like man glitter.
There you go.
Wow.
That's cool.
So that's all you do.
Throw them out.
Now, obviously, you can decide how much you want to do. I mean, you could say, hey, you know what, that looks good. Just leave it alone. And that's the reason for using the colored epoxy. That you don't have to do 100% if you don't want to. You can literally just leave it like that if you like it.
I do kind of like that.
Okay.
I don't know that it needs to be
All right.
1000% full.
We can do that.
I'm looking for a camo epoxy so that it kind of camouflages all the dirt and all the junk.
Okay. So, I mean, you can see that's
Yeah,
fairly easy.
that is pretty easy. Look at that. Because it's wet, it's sticking really nicely.
Yep. Sticks right to it.
That's awesome. What is that epoxy, or what are the chips made from here?
I don't know. Magic. If we don't know, we just call it magic. Zero will tell you.
It's the same thing you put in Easter eggs.
Yeah, it does feel like a. What are the Easter eggs that we get at HEB in Texas for that have confetti in them? What are those called?
Cascarones?
Cascadoras. There you go.
Cascarones.
Cascarones.
There you go.
Cascarones.
You got it now.
See if
Okay.
you can get a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Well, see, that's the problem
That
with
wet sidewall.
not doing it as thick. Is whenever you try to do that, then now you get the edges too thick.
Oh,
That's why I
gotcha.
prefer to do 100% coverage,
Gotcha.
which is what we're gonna do now.
100% coverage. I like it. Much better.
See, and then you can just.
You can really throw it out. Got it. And notice he's trying to keep this wet edge from getting much on it.
Yeah. That's why I'm not moving the box much. If I do get it, then I only have one place to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Man, this looks so good.
Can I help?
Super
Can I throw some?
camouflage.
Yeah, Leroy, come on, Leroy.
I've never done this, so I want to throw some.
Let's do it.
You did it wrong, Leroy.
Why? Is there a special
Good
motion?
technique, Leroy. It's an excellent
You gotta
technique.
throw it at it.
Come on, Leroy. You said you're gonna help.
Oh, I thought it was done.
There's definitely some technique involved if you're not going to go 100% coverage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not 100%, but that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks really good, yeah. I'm not sure we need a whole lot more.
Right. I'm thinking.
And I don't know that I would even worry about trying to get that more fully coated. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think?
I like it, man.
You see, we have some chips here on this side, which obviously we don't want. So you just take the leaf blower, blow them back out. No, that way, Leroy. That's it. There you go.
Work, sleep, repeat. Yeah, work, sleep, that's all I ever do is work, sleep. Somewhere up the line, I forgot what I was working for. limousine running bootlegs and draws and screens.
All right, so there you have the finished product, at least for today. What'd you think, Matt?
Man, amazing work, Eric. You know, shockingly, and I've watched a bunch of your epoxy videos before, it's not that hard, right? I mean, it's all about the details, like everything in life.
Right. Well,
If you know and understand the concepts and the details, it's not hard.
Well, as you saw, the prep is the main
prep
thing.
is the key.
That took
Yeah.
what, 2 days?
Yeah.
It took 2 full days in order for this to only take like an hour.
Yeah, that's right. Not long at all.
But you know, that's prep is in the details, or the details are the key factor,
That's
like
right.
anything else. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really like the base color that we went with, that gray. And what colors would you chips? Like tan and black?
Yeah, like a tan black. You know, hang on one sec. I got the sample. I want to compare it.
Anyway, as I was saying earlier, you can actually do this over clear, but we were supposed to do this 100% coverage. But once we got it to this point, Matt's like, actually, I like it right there. Just leave it alone. So that's what we ended up doing.
Actually, this wasn't the sample now that I think about it. I decided not to do this. Is the more black and white one.
Right.
And this had a tan in it, which I liked because it felt a little more camouflaging of the flaws. So yeah, I like it a lot though. I think it's gonna look amazing when it's all done.
Yeah, and then we also did this before drywall, so we didn't have to worry about protecting the edges. Plus, you're gonna come back and put some tape there, right? What are you doing there on the edges?
Yeah, where my zip system here meets the concrete, I'm gonna either use some zip tape or some Siga tape, and I'm gonna do an additional air and bug and water seal at that joint. You could also probably use some type of caulking in there. You just have to be cautious that it would be the correct formulation, but a little good to have some extra insurance in that spot.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's all we're gonna do for today. Now we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna put some caution tape here in the front to make sure that nobody walks on it. And then tomorrow we'll be back. We'll clean it up and put a coat of clear. Then we're done. As you can see, we had some leaves blow into here, which is actually not a problem because they just blow off with a leaf blower. Just like that, because we have a lot of chips on the surface that are not stuck. By the way, if you don't have one of these things, this Milwaukee leaf blower, get you one. This is Matt Reisinger's, but I have one just like it and it is friggin' amazing. But anyway, so these leaves are not a problem. We're just gonna blow them off like that. And that's part of doing the chip floors. There's gonna be a lot of chips that are gonna be loose on the surface on the next day. It's fine. You're gonna blow them off just like I'm doing right now. The way I do is I blow them into a corner, and then that's where I collect them. Then I'm gonna come back. By the way, you can actually use those chips again. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna scrape the surface because there's a lot of chips on here that are not laying on the surface flat. So I'm gonna scrape all that off. Then I'm gonna blow them into the corner again. At that point, you cannot use those, so I can just go over there with a vacuum and vacuum everything up. Once that's done, I just come back and put a clear coat and I'm done. The problem here is, the same problem we've always had, is he doesn't have a door here. So we're gonna go to Home Depot and get some plastic. We're probably gonna get some clear plastic so we can still get some light in here. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it up here to protect all this. Obviously that's gonna keep leaves and everything out of here, but mainly moisture. It is 11 a.m. right now. I've been here since 8. I haven't been able to start because there's too much moisture in the air. Look at that. That's just all moisture coming from the roof. It was really foggy this morning. But anyway, so I'm waiting hopefully a couple more hours, and I'm waiting for the sun to come out so all this moisture will burn off so I can put down the next coat. Once I put on the next coat, that's the final coat. So extremely important that we get it right and that we protect it. It's always important to protect it, but the last coat is obviously the most important. So that's what we're working on right now. Of course, Matt's here. He's running around all over the place.
Always.
He's got inspections. He's got all kinds of stuff. You know, he's being a builder. So that's what he's working on today. But anyway, we're gonna cover this and I'll be right back.
Somewhere up the line.
Alright, so I have the floor nice and clean now. And it's pretty much ready. All I have to do is put down the clear coat. Now I'm just gonna do one coat of clear. You can do as many as you want. With one coat of clear, you're gonna protect the chips, but you're also gonna have some texture under your feet so that you don't slip and fall. If you want the chips 100% covered, you can actually come back with a coat of epoxy, 100% solids, and just do a build coat on here, and then you can actually hide or cover all the chips, and then you'll be able to see them but not feel them, which is a pretty cool look. But that's something else that you can do. But like I said, on this one, I'm just gonna put a coat of clear polyurethane, call it a day. All right, so now we're mixing some the clear coat. For the clear coat, we're gonna be using Crown Polymers 8110. And like I said, this is gonna give us the protective layer. This is gonna protect the chips and the floor, of course. So, you know, mix it very well for about 3 to 5 minutes. You do not want to mix so fast that you will introduce bubbles. So what he's doing is perfect.
Looks like it ain't slowing down for me. All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat.
Alright, so there you have it. That's the finished product. We put that plastic over there, as you guys already know, to keep all the leaves from blowing in here. Alright, so there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you next time. We are Texas Barndominiums.